Hi guys, it's Albert the Analyst back with another video. Of course, this one about Oblique Seville. Jeez, man. Yo, Oblique did what he needed to do. Jeez. So, of course, today was the Lausanne Diamond League. And, you know, it was a... so, at first, of course, it was going to be Kishane versus Noah versus Oblique versus, you know, everybody else in the race. And it turns out Kishane pulls out. And, of course, the first thing people are gonna, you know, well, the Americans are gonna say is, you know, he's pulling out because he's scared of Noah, or Noah is getting close to him, because in Cilicia, Kishane ran 9.87 to win while Noah ran 9.90. But people didn't seem to realize that the reason why Kishane pulled out isn't because of Noah. It's because of Oblique Seville. Because listen, that young man, I'm telling you, man, ever since Oblique faced himself and told himself that, listen, I am going to the Tokyo World Championships, and niggling my legs or no niggling my legs, I am gonna run at this Jamaican Championships and I'm gonna come top 3. And boop, Oblique gets up off of the ground. Oblique shakes it off. Oblique goes into the race and Oblique runs 9.83 behind Kishane in order to make the team to Tokyo. And I feel like ever since then when he told himself that injury no injury, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come top 3 in this race, I feel like that kind of pivoted everything for him. I feel like that moment right there was Oblique's turning point, in the sense that he told himself, look, if I could run that fast while having these niggles in my leg, and after all of that jazz that just went down, then there's no way that I could ever find myself losing again. And I feel like that's the mentality that he has taken on, and he continues to perpetuate lately. For example, London Diamond League happened. He ran that 9.86 to take down Noah Lyles, and you could see the confidence, you could hear the confidence, you could feel it oozing off of him in his interviews, in the post race, you know, when he put up him on the same win. So I've been, you know, if you know me, then you know that I've been on the Seville train for several years now, actually. I'll never forget when I was there for the 3 races that culminated in his sub 10. I was there for them. I think he ran something like a 10-12, then a 10-8, then the sub 10. I was there for each one in the stadium watching him run, because I knew that it was coming. Everybody knew. I remember when he ran that 9.86, every one of us in the stadium was like, yep, we knew it. Nobody was shocked. So, you know, I've been a civilian. I really love that he came up with that name for his fans, Civilians. It's a really clever name. So I've been a civilian for you know, a few years now. And unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to get it right when it mattered. In 2022, he came 4th. 2023, 2023 hurt me. You know why 2023 hurt me? Because he came 4th, but he ran the exact same time as 3rd and 2nd place. I believe it was 9.88. And you have to ask yourself, you know what happened there? Because honest, I remember he ran 9.86 in the semis, and you know, then he runs 9.88. You know, you're like, why didn't you save the 9.86 for the final, right? But you know, that's fine. It happened. We moved on. 2024 comes, and unfortunately, he would have, you know, picked up an injury before the final started, and you know, that happened. But here we are this year, and Oblique looks better than ever. You can, like, I feel like Oblique has the best form and execution since Asafa Powell, by far. Best execution is since Asafa Powell. He is, to me, the most talented and technically sound male sprinter in the world right now, and has been since like 2021, to be honest. To me, like, when I see him run, I just see it's like a car, you know, a well-oiled one of those high-end cars. The way he just runs, it's just so freaking insane just to watch and witness Oblique run the way he runs. So I really love the way he executes. And for today, he executed into a minus 0.3 wind in the rain, the cold. Like, what the hell, man? He's the only person to go sub 10 in the race, and he didn't just go sub 10, he ran 9.87. Mind you, his personal best is 9.81. Imagine running 600ths of a second outside of your fastest time in the rain, in the cold, into a headwind. Give that young man his props. Oblique Seville deserving props. And I've said it in previous videos and I'll say it again. I am backing Oblique Seville for winning gold in Tokyo. But I want people to understand that no matter what happens in Tokyo, Oblique is proving himself now. Respect the man. Respect the man. Medal or no medal. In the past, he's not medal in the past, that's fine. But I still rate him over man with medal. I still value him more over man with medal. I still think he's way more talented than a lot of those men who medaled. You know? So I really, really want him to get it right, because I know that his aim, of course, is gold. His aim will always be to come first in any race, and that's, you know, that's the aim of everybody, really. So I feel like Oblique Seville can get the gold in Tokyo. I feel he will get the gold in Tokyo. Let me tell you this. Once Oblique manages his rounds properly and does what he needs to do to get to the Oblique, me now see I can't run 9.7 in the semis, but I don't want 9.7 low in the semis, and I definitely don't want 9.6 in the semis. Now, Oblique, you and I know that you can go 9.6. Oblique, I don't want any indication of 9.6 until the final. You hear me? I want proper round management. Once Oblique Seville manages his rounds properly, in that final Oblique, I want the 9.6 that I know you have, or you can give me a 9.7 low, or maybe a 9.71. I'll take a 9.71, 9.70, 9.72, or faster. So 9.72 or faster, I'll take that for the win. Okay. But yeah, then again, you know, considering the fact that he's going up against Kishane, Oblique really might have to pull out a 9.6. And I'm just happy that I know that he can do it. Trust me. Oblique, when Oblique ran his 986 PB back in 2022, Oblique skip past 9.9 and him go down a 9.8. Similarly, I feel like Oblique will be skipping past 9.7 and go straight to 9.6. I just feel it. I feel it. I'm telling you. But that's okay. You guys will see it. But yeah, man, I'm just so very, very proud of this young man. So of course he beat Noah Lyles. Noah came second with 10. I just think it's very funny, very, very funny and peculiar how every single time a Jamaican and an American run the same time or dip at the line, they almost always award it to the American. It grinds my gears like no other. They've done it to Merlin Otti. They did it to Kishane last year. They did it earlier today to Ackeem Blake, where they both run the same time and they awarded it to Kishane. No, I'm not saying that, you know, he actually didn't come second. I'd have to really, really look at it. But I just find it peculiar how every single time, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about that is very suspicious to me. Every time we and them are separated by thousands, they get the win. Very sus. Anyway, fourth place was Akani Simbini. I'm very happy for that fourth place for Akani. People keep talking about, oh, he peaked earlier season. Are you people stupid? Every single time I interact with you people in track and field, it's like I lose a few brain cells, you know. Akani Simbini's personal best is 9.82. Akani has not run 9.81 this season. How can somebody with a 9.82 PB peak if he's not even run a single 988? Are you people dumb? Like, what's... Guys, it's very simple. The aim is the World Championships. The same way how persons are still betting on Noah to win, even though Noah keeps getting his ass handed to him by the Jamaicans, is the same way that Simbini does not need to win on the circuit. It doesn't matter what he was doing early season. Simbini needs to run races to get himself into shape and to practice against the world beaters so that when the time comes, he can aim for a medal. Simbini does not need to be winning every race. And that does not mean that he's peaked. And anyways, as I said, I'm very glad that he came fourth. I feel he shut a lot of people up with that fourth place. Again, he doesn't need to win. Matter of fact, staying under the radar definitely helps you a lot more sometimes, instead of being the person up front and having all that pressure and attention on you. Ackeem Blake. So of course, I usually do predictions for races. For this race, my prediction was Oblique first, Lyles second, Zarnel Hughes third, and my dark horse was Ackeem Blake. Of course, for the results, Oblique came first as I predicted, Lyles second, and because I knew Ackeem Blake could upset the top 3 places, he did exactly that, and he came third, knocking Simbini into 4th, and Simbini knocked Zarnel into 5th. So I'm very, very proud of Ackeem Blake. I'm very happy for that time, that the fact that he clashed with, Ackeem Blake is a starter. He and Oblique got out. He got out slightly before Oblique, but they got out, around, close to the same time. Like, Kishan and Oblique completely decimated everybody in the first 60. It was almost identical how quickly they both got out and maintained. Of course, Oblique maintained better, but Ackeem still maintained, especially considering the fact that Lyles is as great and as fast as he is, and yet Ackeem was able to keep up with him, and they clocked the same time. So I love the fact that Ackeem not only started fast in this race, he decelerated at a slower pace than that I've seen in previous races, and he was able to keep up with the big boys. That's one thing I want to see more from Ackeem Blake, being able to keep up with and beat the other world beaters. I want to see more of that from Ackeem. While of course Oblique and Kishan are kind of like leading the charge for Jamaica right now, I will never count out Ackeem Blake. I always keep Ackeem Blake in the back of my mind, because I know that once Ackeem Blake gets his endurance up more, it done. I'm telling you. Ackeem might just find himself run straight into 9.7 the minute he runs like all a 21.8 in the, sorry, a 19.8 in the 200. So I just need more endurance from Ackeem, to kind of like match that start. It's he's a bit like Shelly, where once that endurance increases and once you start seeing some faster 200s which require doing endurance training, 300s, 400s, then that 100 will definitely improve, especially over the last 50 meters. So yeah, man, just very, very proud of Ackeem Blake for just keeping up with his fellow Jamaicans, coming top 3 in that race, even though most persons never predicted him top 3. The match, to be honest, the only reason why I made him a dark horse versus putting him in the top 3 is because it was raining, and I felt like Zarnel Hughes being from London, Zarnel would probably be more used to the rain than, for example, Ackeem Blake, who's from the land of sun, wood, water. But I made him a dark horse because I know that he can always pull through, and pull through he did. So I'm very proud of that. Sorry, I was eating crackers. I'm not gonna edit that. So yeah, very, very proud of Ackeem. Very, very proud of Oblique. Persons kept talking about how Kishan is gauging our athletes. Well, gauge that. Nothing was gauged. All was beaten. In what pocket? He said that Kishan is in his pocket. Well, Oblique, make sure said Oblique ensure to let you know that he was never and will never be in your pocket. Yeah, if you felt like you had anybody in your pocket, there are a bunch of holes in your pocket, and a gold medal is about to drop out of it. So keep that in mind. Go, yeah. Oblique lick down Goldilocks, man. With the blonde ear for. Yeah. So very, 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 very proud of Oblique. Very proud of the men. I can't wait to see what else they bring. Oblique made it known that he most likely will not be running any more races until Tokyo. I don't mind that. So yeah, man, just bring your A game, Oblique, and make we get that gold medal there and get it out of the way. But yeah, man, that's it from me, guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Albert the Analyst out. Bye.